Really? You know, it's true. My father's stuff, my mother's stuff. Yeah, in a computer. We're all set?
Yeah.
Josh, is that thumbs up? Oh, okay.
My parents have it in my house.
Un momento, por favor.
I expect.
No, I understand that you don't have enough. I even given a healthy 30-year-old a shot before my 70-year-old father. Really? 4 hours.
I have to tell you that my second shot was a progress.
This meeting is being recorded.
Oh,
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Virginia Harger, Chairperson of the Shelton Planning and Zoning Commission. Today is Tuesday, February 9th, and the regular meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission is hereby called to order at 4:40 p.m. We apologize for the delay, but we were having some equipment difficulties. Protocol for this afternoon's meeting was previously reviewed by Corporation Counsel, who indicated to me it is compliant with the executive orders issued by the governor and fair for those attending in person or watching from a remote location. Just a reminder that all commissioners and staff attending today's meeting in person and others in the auditorium need to wear masks that cover the nose and mouth throughout the meeting, even when speaking. Your cooperation is appreciated. Would everyone present in the auditorium please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, and I invite all who are participating remotely to do the same. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. Starting with our roll call, when your name is called, please verbally indicate you're present, and I'll begin with those participating remotely. Commissioner Parkins.
Present.
Commissioner Ticky.
Present.
bring it to the mic.
The volume up a little.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Commissioner Wodowski.
Here.
Okay. Alternate Commissioner Lasko.
Present.
Alternate Commissioner Usel.
Present.
Mr. Panico, our consultant.
Present.
Thank you. Mrs. Renato, our recording secretary.
Present.
Thank you. And those that are in the auditorium. Commissioner Kelly.
Present.
Commissioner Amato.
Here.
Mr. Rossetti, our administrator. Mr. O'Neill, our assistant administrator, CEO.
Present.
Mr. Nappy, our downtown projects coordinator.
Here.
Thank you. A couple of points before continuing with this afternoon's agenda. This is the Commission's 27th meeting, being done via a live streaming process. Commissioners participating in person and remotely will be able to make comments throughout the meeting so that we are not all talking across each other and our recording secretary is clear as to who is speaking. Commissioners are asked to please say Madam Chair and then your name. As soon as the chair recognizes you, you're free to speak. Please be aware that you may hear an echo. Commissioners participating remotely are asked to be aware and remember that microphones on computers will pick up ambient sounds, which will be heard in the auditorium throughout the PA system, including movement of papers, phones ringing, and conversations if others are in the room. So if at all possible and you have the ability to do so, please mute the audio on your computer. We'll begin with agenda item 4, applications for certificates of zoning compliance. Just a reminder to all present in the auditorium and those participating remotely that all supporting documentation for these 2 applications were posted on the city's website. And
Who's taking Ticky's place?
he's here.
Hey, Jenny, Commissioner Wodowski.
Go ahead, Commissioner Wodowski.
I have one question. It kind of piqued my interest at the beginning. You mentioned that Corporation Counsel reviewed the agenda prior to the meeting, and he
He has
said that
reviewed the protocol. That was done months ago, last, March, when we needed to, do a remote kind of, meeting.
Okay, my question is, if he's saying we're in accordance, how are we in accordance with the laws and executive orders if we're not posting material less than, for today's meeting? Alex sent out some information a little while ago that has, information that was not posted to the website in accordance, so.
Are you referring to the, item under other business, the informal considerations?
Yeah, that would be
Yeah,
it.
that material, when we get to that point, that we will explain, how that plays into, what is posted and what is not. But I'm starting off with applications for certificate of zoning compliance, and the two applications, for signs have been posted on the, city's website in accordance. So if you could just hold that thought, we will, pick that up when we get down to that agenda item. All right, so the first one is, okay, thank you. So the first one is, as I started to say, my understanding is the zoning subcommittee did, review both applications, Commissioner Amato, is that right? And they were referred to the
yes.
entire commission?
Yes.
Okay, and, first application, 4758 Archer Sign, 899 Bridgeport Avenue for a sign, and, looks like Brian is here to present the material.
I am, how are you?
Good, Brian, how are you?
Good.
Okay, so identify yourself for the record.
Brian Vassar with Archer Signs. So what we want to do here is, above the doors of this space, this is one of the smaller subtenants.
Well,
So-
first of all, what project is this?
I thought you had that, sorry.
We do, but it's stated for the record.
899 Bridgeport Avenue.
Okay, so that's the new little strip mall that's right past the veterinary
That's right.
hospital?
That's correct.
Uh-huh,
All right. All set?
yeah. So
Okay.
you're gonna start with the wall sign?
Yeah, so the wall sign is just in a recessed area above the doors that was dedicated for those secondary tenants to have signs, so.
Mm-hmm.
Internally illuminated, somewhat similar to what we did at the CX Center above those doors.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. This will be a black background with white illuminated letters. The background is opaque, only the letters illuminated at night.
Okay.
And the freestanding sign, which as you know is already there, we're just putting a face in it with, again, an opaque black background with the letters illuminated at night.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so those both internally lit.
Yep.
All right. Do any commissioners have any comments, questions, or concerns for Mr. Vassar on this particular proposal for the monument sign and the wall sign? No commissioners participating remotely have any questions? Anybody here in the auditorium? Commissioner Amato?
Sorry, this is the Bridgeport Avenue application? Yeah.
Yeah,
We like the, so everybody that we talked about it, we thought it was lovely.
Okay, the
Very
commi-
nice. Yeah.
So the commissioners on the zoning subcommittee didn't have any issues with the design?
No, we thought it was an improvement over what was there
Okay.
formerly, and liked it.
Commissioner Kelly, you good?
No,
Okay.
great sign. Looks
All right,
good.
unless somebody has a question or any further discussion on this, is there anyone that wants to make a motion regarding application 4758?
I'll make a motion to accept it.
Approve it?
Yep,
No, not accept.
I approve it, yeah.
Okay, Commissioner Kelly is making a motion to approve application 4758. Is there a second?
Commissioner Ticky will second.
Thank you, Commissioner Ticky. On the motion to approve application 48, that was made by Commissioner Kelly and seconded by Commissioner Ticky. I'll do a roll call. Commissioner Parkins?
Aye.
Commissioner Kelly?
Aye.
Commissioner Ticky?
Aye.
Commissioner Radomski?
Aye.
Commissioner Amato?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Motion is passed 6-0.
Great. Thank you. Have a good night, everyone.
You too. Safe drive. All right, next is, application 4759, Patterson Sign Group for Corporate Drive for a change to existing signs on an exterior awning and standing sign, and to add signage in the form of stickers to the entrance door. The agenda reads, for Corporate Drive sign. Is someone here present to present this?
Hey, my name is Darcy Roy.
Okay, Darcy, you're participating remotely, and you're with what company?
I'm with Patterson Sign and National Sign.
Okay, Darcy, spell your first and last name for the benefit of our secretaries, please.
Sure. My first name is Darcy, D-A-R-C-I-E. Last name Roy, R-O-Y.
Very good. Okay, what do you have to tell us?
Okay, well, as you can see, what we are interested in doing is adding some signage to the awning that's currently there. It's going to be a vinyl decal on the awning. It's about 6.3 square feet. In addition to that, we'll be replacing the existing freestanding little directional sign with a new sign that's 2 foot by 4 foot and 8 square foot sign. And then we just have window vinyl. Hartford Healthcare, this is for the safety of our patients and visitors, no guns, no knives, and smoke-free, tobacco-free, vape-free campus.
Okay, so on the first picture, we have the before. The existing signage doesn't have anything on that canopy.
Yep.
And you are adding the name of the company to the canopy as well as to the freestanding sign.
Correct.
Commissioner Amato, what did the zoning committee, subcommittee have to say about any of the,
Well, I declined to really participate because this is my employer.
oh, okay.
And I think Commissioner Parkins had some
Okay,
some thoughts about it.
all right. Then, Commissioner Parkins, do you want to offer any comments on what they're proposing?
Sure. So a couple of things that we discussed is that there's multiple signage. What's that? Can you hear me?
Go ahead, Commissioner Parkins.
Okay. So there are 3 signs all in the immediate vicinity that they're proposing. One on the awning, one as a ground sign, and then one on the door. We have not allowed that in most cases. I know just recently in the downtown business that we said 3 signs is a little too much. I also took a ride by there today, and none of the awnings that are over the doors are strictly for weather covering. They're not meant to be like a downtown awning where people advertise on it. None of the awnings there have advertising on it. All of the directional signs that are ground signs are uniform in that they are a maroon background with white lettering. No logos, just white lettering. So there's a radiology office in there right now. There's another doctor. They have ground signs with just white lettering on maroon. And I don't think that, I think this is going to set a precedent to start changing the signage uniformity that we have at that location. So I'm not in favor of the awning sign, and the ground sign I think needs to follow along suit with what is currently there on the sign, the signage.
Okay, so the ground sign, you're saying take out the logo and fix the color so it's white on a maroon color background?
Same as all of the other directional signs that are at that facility, yes.
Okay. Okay, any other commissioner want to weigh in on this? Commissioner Wodanski, you're on the subcommittee. Do you have any comments?
I have the exact same opinion as Commissioner Parkins, and I would concur with her saying that nothing on the awning and nothing on the door and the directional sign on the ground needs to conform with the rest of the signs on the property.
Okay, the part on the door is...
I don't have a problem with the door.
Okay.
Right.
Commissioner Parkins, the part on the door that you don't, are you saying you don't have a problem with the name of the company on the door?
Correct.
Okay. And
That would be 2 signs that they could have at that location, one on the ground and then one on the door.
Okay. And then we have, an addition of the, no smoking and the other one about no, firearms.
Now, I can't
Nothing
see
like that currently exists, correct?
I did not see that, but it looks like it currently exists because it's part of the signage. It just, all I could make out on that was a wheelchair.
I can't even do that. Dorothy, can you, weigh in on that? What's on the door presently? Anything?
I can't see anything on the door either.
Okay.
What,
All right, Commissioner Kelly, you have a comment?
yeah, why do we need the no smoking, vaping, and firearms? I mean, there's nothing, I know at that facility, there's no other door that has that on it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Darcy, do you have any, comments on that?
Well, I actually talked to Joshua, so I already knew that we were going to have a problem with that awning. I talked to the client, and they're aware, so we can just scratch the signage on the awning. I will have them change. I thought there would also be a problem with that little directional sign as well, because all the colors are uniform. So I'll have them follow that. And then as far as the window vinyl, that's just what they put up on all of their sites. So if you want me to have them take off the no guns and no smoking, we can do that.
I think that would be.
Yeah, I think the no guns, no firearms is,
Well,
Yes, Commissioner Woodall.
yeah, go ahead.
I don't see a need to have that stuff on there. If you're a patient of Hartford Healthcare, you already know those rules. It's not like you're walking in for the first time off the street and you go through the whole website and it's all on there. No guns, no this, no that, no other things. I just think it's an overkill. If they want to put Hartford Healthcare on the door so you know where it is, my question is, how far away is that ground sign from the door? I mean, are we going to overkill it with with a sign on the ground 5 feet away from the door sign? I mean, at what point do we really need to, let people figure things out and be adults and all that?
Yeah, I think overkill is, a good way of looking at it. For the no firearms and no smoking, decals on the door, I definitely think that they should be in conformity with the rest of the awnings and have that be plain. I don't personally see a problem with the name on the door as well as on the, other signs, as long as, they follow the pattern that the other ground signs are in the area. So, does the commission feel that we need to table this and so that the applicant can resubmit final designs, revised designs?
Commissioner Wodomski?
Go ahead.
I would recommend tabling it. And the other thing I'd like to find out is, are any of the other exterior doors up at the facility have any type of writing on the doors? Because if they do, we should follow suit with what the rest of them are and stay in the same idea what everybody else is doing up there. Same with the ground side.
Commissioner?
Yeah, just one thing with what Commissioner Wadowski said. That's a side door, so that you go right into the entrance there. On the main entrance, you go in, there's usually a directory or something, and the doors to the offices would be marked. So, I feel that the door sign is okay.
Mm-hmm. Commissioner Parkins, you were speaking up, I think?
Yeah, Commissioner Kelly is correct. This is at the far end of the building from the main lobby where you enter in, and then there's a, signage board with all the offices, practices that are in there. Is this only, does this door, maybe the sign person could answer this question, does this door only access Hartford Healthcare?
I believe so.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
it's not
so
like a lobby that leads into the building and then Hartford is held off of that lobby?
Sorry, go ahead. As I understand it, that is what it is, but I can check and make sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is the only exterior, this is the only entrance to the building, to their offices, I should say.
That is correct.
Yeah, this is their main entrance. There is no,
The only reason I know that is I know that one of the doctors.
Joined the meeting.
okay. So to access this particular facility, the sleep care center, you have to go through this door. It's not like you go through a big main door and go down a hallway and
Exactly, that's
an
it.
interior door.
Right.
Okay, all right. All right, so what action does the commission want to take on this? Somebody want to make a motion to act on this in one manner, shape, or form?
I'll be more than happy to make a motion, Commissioner Wodanski, to table it until we see back what the ground sign is going to look like.
Okay, is there anyone that wants to second that motion?
I'll second it, Commissioner Parkins.
Okay, so there's a motion to table from Commissioner Wodanski, seconded by Commissioner Parkins. And the specific information that we want to make sure that the commission is provided by staff would be the door, the standing sign, and what was the second one? Commissioner Wodanski?
The ground sign, the ground sign conforms with the rest of the signs, and the door sign is removed. The other information, with the exception of their name, is removed from the door.
Okay, door sign, and also what the rest of the doorways look like?
What was the second one?
Ground sign information, and it's that the ground sign, the door sign. What are the other doors like?
Yeah, all right. Well,
Okay, anybody have any questions about the motion? Okay, on a roll call vote on the motion to table application 4759 made by Commissioner Wodanski, seconded by Commissioner Ticky. Do a roll call, Commissioner Parkins?
This was seconded by Commissioner Parkins, but aye.
Oh, I'm sorry, Commissioner Parkins, you're right, I'm looking at the wrong line. Okay, Commissioner Parkins votes aye. Commissioner Kelly?
no.
Yes, you're an A?
Yep.
Okay, Commissioner Wodanski? Commissioner Wodanski, are you there for the vote?
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Voting in favor of the motion.
Okay, you're an aye. Commissioner Ticky?
Aye.
Commissioner Moto?
Same.
Oh, you're abstaining, that's right. And the chair votes aye. So the vote has passed on a vote of 4-1-1. So staff will provide additional details to the commission so that this can be taken up at a future meeting.
Thank you.
You're very welcome, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Next item on the agenda is old business. Application 20-08, PDD number 94, Cedar Village, Phase 2, Midland Development LLC, 3 Howe Avenue, 275 Storm Avenue, 30 Hill Street, for detailed development plan approval of Phase 2. Last time the commission took any action on this application was September 9th, 2020, when the commission voted 5-1 to approve the application. And who is representing the applicant? Mr. Rose?
Good evening, Pat Rose, Rose
Ginny.
Legal Company.
Excuse me, Mr. Rose. Commissioner Wodanski, what is it?
Is that online?
Yeah, I'm gonna. This is Don Stanzial's property. I wasn't part of the second phase meetings at all, and I haven't looked back on it. So if you want to see one of the alternates that took part in the meetings, by all means.
Okay. Commissioner Wasco, are you familiar with this Phase 2 of Cedar Village?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Go ahead.
Yes, I was part of that second phase meeting.
Okay, so I'm going to seat you in place of Commissioner Wodanski. All right. Go ahead, Mr. Rose.
Keeping Patrick Rose from Rose Tito and Company, 35 Brentwood Avenue, Fairfield, Connecticut, representing the owner. Just want to bring up the drawings that were presented or that you got in your packet. Just a thumb drive?
Wow. Just have to. Just the Zoom you put on the website.
Yeah, that's the,
This is all the old stuff I have.
it's predominantly this guy and then, the screening.
Here's Gable.
And again,
Okay, this has to do with
Can you
phase
make
two.
that bigger? Is it a thing?
if you go up to view in the top left, I think you should be able to do,
Way up.
or you can just close out. You can see on the toolbars on the side, you can minimize them. So if you click back on the drawing,
Yeah, better. Well, much better.
Thank you. Here to talk about phase two of Cedar Village. During the preliminary approval for the use, we had discussion about the rear elevation and suggestion that we take a further look at that and amend it to some degree, which we have done. So what we have done with the elevation is, previously it was all brick. The whole rear was brick, over the stairway and the elevator, which is on the left-hand side. So what we did is we changed the roof line, which was a flat parapet at one time, and made the mansard wrap all the way around the building, so it's on all four sides. The only thing that penetrates that mansard is the elevator shaft itself, and vestibule, which goes above the mansard because it has a 13-foot overrun to it, just by its own nature, it's taller. So it made that all brick. The rest of the materials on the elevation are the same as the other three sides for the most part. That we have siding on the upper two stories, we have shakes or shingles on the first level, and then siding again on the second parking level, and then brick at the bottom of the stairway, so that the building essentially wraps around all four sides with the same material except for the stairway itself. That's the major change that was made associated with the building. The other minor things that we did is the windows on the rear were more continuous and aluminum glass. We've changed them to residential scale. Windows are the same as the other elevations on the building. Also, let's go back.
So the window design,
Window design change.
the window design is same all around the building?
Same all the way
Yep.
around. Same thing in the front of the building, where we had a continuous curtain wall over the entrance to that stairway. Now we've gone to residential style windows, which are similar to the rest of the building.
And you're pretty much mimicking what's on the building for Cedar Village 1?
Yes, it's all the similar type design, materials are the same.
Okay.
Other comment that I heard was that on the elevation facing Hill Street, we had openings on the second garage level, which were at one time requested to have screening, which we put on the screening. And then I heard that there's a request that we add screening to the side not facing Hill Street, which is where the driveway is coming down,
On the resident side?
on the residential side. That there are 3 openings there that has been requested that we could put in screening, which we can do. That can be done.
So you haven't submitted an elevation that shows it on the residential side?
No, it's...
That is something you plan to do?
It's essentially these 3 openings will have the same screening that are...
Okay.
Will have the same screening that's on the other.
Have you by any chance obtained a sample of that, with a small sample of what that screening is?
Of the screening, I do not have it with me. We can provide that.
Yeah, okay, that would be good.
Okay.
Could you send that up to the staff? That's it?
Those are the major changes.
Any minor changes?
There's gone to construction documents, there's lots of little minor changes, but they're mostly in the building and out still.
Okay, so nothing else that you need to share with us?
No, nothing outside.
Any commissioners have any comments, questions, or concerns for the applicant? Nobody remotely? Nobody here in the auditorium?
Madam Chairman,
Go right ahead, Mr. Panico.
I've heard everything was said, and I'm satisfied. What I would like to see, and maybe the commission would like to see it also, is the selection of colors as to how these are all going to come together. Do you have any interest in that?
That's, I think, an excellent point.
You bring up, you have shakes and you have brick and you have shingles, I guess, right?
Yes, correct, Tony, and they will be the same materials that were used on phase 1.
Okay. Same colors?
Same colors, yes.
Okay, so there'll be some sort of a marrying then of the architectural style between the 2 buildings?
Yes, that's why we designed the building with the roof and the bay windows and the brick.
Okay.
Anything else,
Okay.
Mr. Panico?
No, I just wanted to make sure that we all understood, and as you indicated, Madam Chairman, I'd like to see what type of screening they're really talking about.
Very
I
good.
guess I was the one that brought up the possible need for screening on the driveway side as well. I would think if for nothing else, it would be good for security.
Absolutely. Any other commissioners have any questions?
No,
Any
I
other
think
final- Mr.
my
Panico?
concerns were all minor.
Okay, commission have, any comments before we move on? There was a resolution that staff had prepared. Does everybody have that in front of them? It was emailed?
No.
From Al. from Mr. Rossetti?
When?
This afternoon.
Okay. Thank you.
Commissioner Amato, do you have that resolution?
I have it here.
Okay.
yes. I have it in.
Commissioners,
here.
participating remotely, did you, find the resolution in the email from Mr. Rossetti?
Yes, Chairwoman, I had.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so unless I hear otherwise, we'll proceed with the reading of the resolution and, a vote on that. So this is regarding, application 20-08, petition of Cedar Village Development, LLC, approval of Phase 2 final development plans for a 30-unit residential apartment building with enclosed parking located at 275 Corm Avenue at the corner of Hill Street, part of a mixed-use development identified and zoned as Planned Development District number 94, PDD number 94. This is for, resolution is for consideration at today's meeting. On the background, the applicant, Cedar Village Development, LLC, has received approval of and completed construction of Phase 1 of PDD number 94. It consists of a mixed-use development containing a total of 33 residential rental units above 8,000 square feet of street-level, multi-tenant commercial retail space on that portion of PDD number 94 located at the corner of Howe Avenue and Hill Street in downtown Shelton. Phase 2 consists of a multi-story residential building with 30 residential studio and one-bedroom apartments on 3 stories above 2 levels of structured parking for not less than 33 cars, with the upper level access from Corm Avenue and the lower level access from the parking areas associated from Phase 1. Overall site is L-shaped, having a total area of approximately 41,390 square feet, which is 0.95 acres, and slopes steeply upward from Howe Avenue to Corm Avenue following the grade of Hill Street. The Phase 2 portion of the site, fronting on Corm Avenue at the corner of Hill Street, slopes downward from Corm Avenue towards Howe Avenue such that the subject proposed building will have a 3-story elevation facing Corm Avenue, but due to the grade of the site, the Howe Avenue rear elevation overlooking the Phase 1 parking area will have 5 stories. Excuse me. The entire site is situated within the CBD Special Development Area Overlay Zone. Final plans for said Phase 2 are entitled Detailed Development Plans, Phase 2, Planned Development District, Cedar Village at Carroll, Howe Avenue, Corm Avenue, and Hill Street, Shelton, Connecticut, dated September 30th, 2020, prepared by James R. Swift, professional engineer and landscape architect, with architectural plans by Rose Tissot and Company, LLC, architects. The Commission is familiar with the site and has completed a careful review and discussion of the proposal, including on-site visits. On the basis of the Commission and staff review and consideration of concerns noted in the conditional approval of initial development plans for said Phase 2, the Commission notes the following. 1, final development plans have been revised to reflect in detail proposed public street sidewalks, curbing, landscape strips, lighting, and street trees. While necessary construction details have been included, as well as landscaping details and specifics. Street lighting shall be as approved by the City of Shelton Street Department. Further minor modifications, adjustments in street lighting and or street tree locations may be necessary to avoid potential conflicts. Details of any proposed ground identification signs should be provided. 2, revised detailed architectural plans have been submitted addressing the rear building elevation changes and other Commission concerns. The Commission has concurred on final architectural design and material selection. Final details regarding any entry wall signage will need to be finalized for Commission approval. After completion of its discussions, there was the consensus of the Commission that it is prepared to act. Accordingly, the following resolution is offered for consideration. Whereas the applicant has submitted final detailed development plans for Phase 2 reflecting the conditions of approval of the initial development concept plans for review and approval by the Commission. And whereas the Commission is familiar with the subject site and the applicable zoning regulations and has visited the site, discussed and reviewed in detail said plans and all documents related thereto, and subject to the comments set forth above, the Commission notes the following. 1, the application complies with the applicable zoning requirements and standards of PDD number 94. 2, final approvals of the city engineer, WPCA, and fire marshal have been obtained. The subject detailed development plans may require further minor revision and clarification. Any outstanding concerns expressed by the Commission and noted herein will be resolved prior to the required endorsement of the detailed development plans. Existing and proposed utility services are adequate for the proposed development. All utility services will be located underground. The proposed parking will be adequate to serve the proposed building, and the applicant's professional traffic report notes that projected traffic will not overload the street system in the area. The Commission will continue to work with the Traffic Division of the Police Department, stressing the desirability of making the Quorum Avenue Hill Street intersection into an all-way stop intersection. Now therefore, on the basis of the above, the Shelton Planning and Zoning Commission hereby takes the following action. In accordance with the provisions of Section 34 of the Shelton Zoning Regulations, the Commission hereby approves the subject detailed development plans for said 30-unit residential apartment development subject to the following conditions and adjustments. 1, full satisfaction of any final applicable outstanding concerns of the city engineer, WPCA, fire marshal, local and state traffic authorities, and any and all other applicable municipal boards and commissions. 2, final modification of architectural details and signage controls to address any Commission concerns. Although the Commission has agreed with the selection of exterior materials and finishes, the submission of samples of exterior materials and finishes shall be provided if requested, which they have. 3, further minor modification and adjustment of said detailed development plans as necessary in response to the concerns noted above and any further concerns of the Commission and its staff that may arise during finalization of reviews and construction. Although the Commission has agreed with the selection of exterior building materials and finishes, the submission of samples of such exterior materials and finishes shall be provided if requested by the Commission. Any disturbed and undeveloped areas of the site shall be appropriately landscaped. Upon approval, the Commission may authorize a zoning permit for foundation construction prior to final endorsement of detailed development plans. However, no additional permits shall be issued to allow any further building construction prior to the endorsement of said detailed plans. Posting of appropriate bonding in an amount as determined by the Commission to assure site restoration and/or the completion of critical site improvements and other areas of concern. A separate bond to assure the installation and maintenance of any and all required on-site sediment and erosion controls shall be posted and continued until completion of site construction and restabilization of ground surfaces. So is there any Commissioner that would care to move this particular resolution?
So moved.
Commissioner Kelly is moving the resolution. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second from Commissioner Motto. Okay,
Madam Chairman?
Go right ahead, Mr. Panico.
Now, at this point in time, I'd like to ask the applicant if he has any plans for signage up on Quorum Avenue for the apartment building.
Okay.
If so, he will need to submit those to the Commission for final action.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes, go right ahead. And identify yourself for the record.
Don Stanziel, owner of Midland Development Builders, Cedar Village, Phase 2.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we were thinking about that, and we're gonna have to put an address, so, on the building, I would say. So I'll go in separate with that, so.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever you decide to do, I think you need to just run it by the Commission for final blessing. Okay.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah, I just don't, I wanna get the right spot.
Okay.
The-
Mr. Panico, do you
the
have
only
any?
The only other things I was gonna mention that will need to be taken care of before you sign off, Madam Chairman, is a couple of minor details on the site plan, primarily in the form of notations, just so that there's no confusion down the road. Other than
Okay.
that, we're ready to go.
Okay. Any commissioners have any comments, questions, or concerns about this particular resolution? Does anybody want to bring up anything? Okay, hearing that there's no further discussion, we'll do a roll call vote on the motion that was moved by Commissioner, the resolution that was moved by Commissioner Kelly and seconded by Commissioner Amato. Commissioner Kelly?
Aye.
Commissioner Amato?
Aye.
Commissioner Parkins?
Aye.
Commissioner Laskos?
Aye.
Commissioner Tiki?
Nay.
Okay, and the chair votes aye. And the resolution has passed 5-1. All right, thank you, and moving along, next agenda item is application 20-12, Good Guys Development LLC at Petromont Lane for a planned development district in an R3 zone on 2.1 acres for initial development plan approval of an apartment building with 10% affordable housing units and on-site parking. Just a couple of comments. 20-12, just as a reminder, the timeline, the application was accepted for review on June 10th, 2020. Public hearing opened on July 29th, and that's when the commission heard from the applicant, from its experts, and 3 members of the public. Commission voted to continue the public hearing. At the continuation on August 26th, the applicant proposed making Petromont a one-way street from Forum Road. Attorney Thomas, representing Santos Plaza, an abutting property owner, indicated his client would like the street to remain two-way. Mr. Panico asked for more information, including a detailed design layout for the intersection from the applicant's traffic engineer. Public hearing was continued. On September 16th, the commission heard a letter from the city engineer and traffic authority and the applicant regarding traffic direction change, the proposed traffic direction change to Petromont Lane. Staff requested a more detailed engineering plan to show the full right-of-way. The commission voted unanimously to close the public hearing. At the October 28th meeting, there was a consensus from commission for staff to continue discussions with the applicant regarding the commission's concerns about the proposals, specifically Petromont Lane. On the city's website, there's a plan and profile for Petromont Lane, including a new island at the junction of Petromont Lane, Forum Road, and Constitution Boulevard South. Rossetti, did you have any comments that you wanted to share with the commission on this?
Good evening, everyone. After the last meeting that this application was before the commission directed staff to work with the applicant to try and iron out the details and come up with a recommendation as to how to proceed with both the road improvements and the project itself. Staff, in regards to the roadway, the city has agreed to take on some responsibility to help renovate the road, and will work with the applicant to address the concerns that the commission has brought up and the concerns of the city engineer, both in the design and financial responsibilities. And then additionally, in terms of the proposal itself, staff's recommendation would be to consider the project for 42 units, again with 10% affordable housing under the Section 8 guidelines, which would be a total of 5 units of those 42. That's a pretty decent reduction from the originally proposed 56. Again, we're pleased that the applicant has agreed to the 10% affordable units. I forget the ratio of parking spots per unit, but that was well above the Commission's recommendation. So we'll let the Commission take it from there. As you'll see on the agenda, we'd ask the Commission to review, discuss, and come to a consensus this afternoon.
Okay. Just a question, city's traffic authority has to still review the
city is going to engage the services of an outside engineer to take a second look at what the best outcome or the best way to proceed with that whole quorum intersection is. So I'm sure the traffic authority will be involved as we potentially move forward with this application. And the applicant has indicated that they were more than willing to work with the city in whatever services we need to provide.
Okay. So there's nothing that really should be holding us back from moving on this particular.
And just the Commission is aware, prior to any final certificate, if the Commission moves forward with approvals for this project, prior to any certificate of occupancy is issued, these roadway improvements will be finished.
Okay. All right. So, any commissioner have any particular comments on this particular application?
Yeah, I don't know what we're talking about here with this.
We're just discussing the proposal.
Yeah, no, I know, but the reduction in units, what is that going to look like? Is that going to be one less floor? We don't have a plan. We don't have a picture of what they're going to do, it looks like.
It'll be essentially a reduced size footprint, just representing the extraction of a portion of the building. Other than that, the general site organization and configuration, et cetera, are going to be the same, unless we dictate differently. One of the major differences that has occurred since we had the public hearing was, at the time of the public hearing, it was anticipated there was going to be a horseshoe-type road with 2 entrances and exits. Because of visibility constraints, et cetera, it seems to dictate that it would make more sense to have one central ingress-egress. This, in turn, is going to probably result in a circular pattern for circulation around the building. But we will be working with the applicant in making modifications, and in fact, we will have more substantive comment at the time as part of the resolution, depending upon what the Commission's action is. We did not bother to come up with a whole bunch of concerns, all of which are relatively minor, until we firm up what is the density going. A, is it going to be approved? B, what is the density going to be? You know.
Is there a drawing as to the single entry?
Yes.
We don't have a final drawing. No, we have drawings of the possible entrance configuration, but again, that will change. If in fact the density is reduced, then the footprint gets smaller. The footprint can be adjusted in a location a little further away from the road to make that entrance and connection to the internal road a little easier to work out.
Yeah, Commissioner Wodanski.
Go ahead, Commissioner Wodanski, and I just want to note that you are back being seated. We're going to be voting on or coming up with a consensus. So are you familiar with this project overall?
I was going to say 2 things. First, you might want to have the person sit again. But my concern is this: if we're changing the layout and the footprint of that building, what was presented at the public hearing is totally different than what's being presented today. And and it's kind of going to be a deceiving project here if you're changing everything. And I don't know how the rest of the commission feels, but that's not a minor modification to me when you change the size of the footprint and the density of a building. Changing of the driveway is a minor modification, I get it. But changing of the building and the way the building may lay out and the footprint of the building, that's more of a major modification. And I for one, don't agree with what's taking place here with this, with kind of circumventing the whole process again because they changed something. I think they should be submitting new pictures, new layouts, new footprint pictures, everything else as if it were brand spanking new, because what was approved before or what was talked about before is not being talked about again today. And then you can see somebody else if you want, because like I said, I'm not familiar with this, and we'll do the same thing we did for the last one.
Okay.
With all due respect, though, Mr. Chairman Wadowski, if you were to look at the site plan, you will see that there is essentially no change in the overall configuration of the site by reducing the building footprint. It doesn't dictate an entirely different approach to the design. It's the same shape of building. It's just, and it's in the same general location. It's just smaller. That's all. The only major change, if you want to deem it a major change, is the modification going from 2 entrance exits to 1, and that was dictated by engineering constraints and visibility constraints. That might have been
you and I are going to have a difference of opinion on this, because to me, when you change the size of a building and density of a building, that's a major modification. A driveway is minor. But that's, again, I'm not familiar with the project, so you guys do what you want.
Chairman Wadowski, it's a modification of a proposal, not of an outstanding approval.
Right. Mr. Panico, I think Commissioner Kelly has some comments.
No, just saying that,
the nature of the modification is one that would come about if the commission made a decision on their own to dictate a reduction, to approve this project, dictating a reduction in the units. The result of that decision would be a smaller footprint.
That's what I was going to say.
That's a warrant going back to a public hearing.
We're not increasing, we're decreasing the building.
Yeah, we are, the applicant has.
The only thing I would say is that there's one entrance into the building. Now, for fire code, do we need more than one exit and entrance?
No, I think we will discuss this further with fire and police, et cetera. I kind of visualize, if need be, this might be a median divided entrance with 2 independent roadways parallel to each other, so that you do have some protection against the possibility of those lanes getting blocked.
Right. Usually on some project like this, they would want a emergency entrance or exit. That's what I'm getting at. Not
yes.
one to be used all the time, but just an emergency one.
I agree. In this particular instance, well, I don't know. Until we get to looking at what the implications are on the site plan, it's hard for me to address that.
Okay.
Yeah, if commissioners look at what is on the website, the plan and profile for Petromont Lane is sheet number PP-1.2, and the top diagram shows the single driveway entrance with a divided in and out. And then it has the other diagram that shows the nature of the slope. So
this is not it's simply what we're dealing with is an evolution of a project between what is requested by the applicant and what the commission deems acceptable.
Exactly.
So,
This is Commissioner Tickey.
Go ahead.
Well, I welcome the reduction in size, and that has happened with other proposals we've taken up. So I welcome that. But I before I can make a form a consensus for me, I would want to see it visually laid out with what the entrance would look like, because I did have some questions and concerns, as some other commissioners did as well. So I think that should be provided before we take next steps.
Now, Commissioner Tickey, go on the city's website and look for all the materials that are posted for this particular application, because
Yes, I'm there.
One that's at the very bottom it should open up and say Plan and Profile, Petromont Lane. It is showing the profile of the street, and then at the bottom, at the top, that big, long rectangle, if you look at it closely, it shows a single entrance that's divided for an in and an out with arrows. That's basically what's been submitted.
You're talking about the driveway now.
Yeah, the driveway
I think
entrance.
Jimmy was talking about the building, correct, Jimmy?
I would like to see, I would like to see how the building layout and the driveway, I see what you're seeing, Chairman, and I have that in front of me. I would like to just see what it would look like. Before I can form a consensus.
Part of the difficulty that we're dealing with is the public hearing has been closed, and
right.
It's not really proper for the commission to view additional information directly from the applicant. Now, I think staff can intervene, however. I think staff can work with the applicant and come up with what seems to be a workable solution, and then present that to the commission as our proposal to overcome the problems.
Well, this is Commissioner Ticky. I would.
If that makes any sense.
This Commissioner Ticky, I'll just continue my point. I think that does make sense. This is not the first time that an applicant has reduced a density at our request, and we've been able to take a look and see what that looks like as we make informed decisions. So if it's staff or information that can be provided to us, but I'd like to know how a building has changed and how an entrance has changed for everyone's safety and for the proposal before we form a consensus.
Well, I think staff can put some information together.
Commissioner Wodomski.
Go ahead.
It's not so much the knowledge of this project at this point. I think it's more of a procedural issue at this point, in my opinion, that I think the commission should receive something from staff with the new site plan, the layout, and all that stuff prior to forming any type of consensus. Because you're going to write a consensus based on something that we don't know what it's going to look like, and it just puts us in a very difficult position. And I think Commissioner Sticky is right that we should see something from staff prior to any form of a consensus.
Can staff identify whether or not the position of the building on drawing the site plan that's in sheet number ST-1, is that?
The only thing that will change on this proposal are the following. If you're looking at an elevation of the building, which they are online if you look at the initial plans, two middle sections of the building will essentially just be taken out and the building will shrink in length. The location of the building will remain the same. The drive around that you see on the modified road plan, that will remain, and you drive in and drive around the building in one way. The rest of the parking around the facility remains the same. The reduction, I can look quickly, I believe the building gets, one second. I believe the building reduction in length is about, where did it go? Yeah, is 44 feet.
Reduced.
Reduced in length if you're looking at it long-wise from Petromont.
Okay, is the elevation page A-201, is that the one that illustrates?
Correct.
Okay, so if commissioners can pull that up, as Mr. Rossetti was talking about, the left side elevation clearly shows two buildings with peaked roofs, and in the center, where a main entrance is, that is what he's,
On either side of that,
on either side, that's what is being referred to as what would be eliminated.
yeah, so one section here and one section there.
Okay, so you have the center section, and you have a section, if you're looking at this in color, on the left side, the unit, the floors that are in yellow, the center section would be taken out of that. On the right side of the main entrance, the section that's in pink, there's a center section would be taken out of that. And the buildings would be reduced in overall length, and by 44 feet. So, Mr. Rossetti, is the placement of the front corner of the building in relation to the road approximately the same? Mr. Panico, do you have any comments on that?
I think everything we've seen so far, it's still the same. Preferably, based on my knowledge of the site, with a reduction of a footprint, and I think it may end up reducing the building length by approximately 40 to 44 feet, I would like to see about half of that adjusted length being placed in front and half in the back. Not shifting it entirely one way or the other. So that would give us a little bit more room in the front yard area to develop a proper entrance and feeding to roadways.
Okay.
What we would ask the applicant to do is give us a sketch as to how he thinks it would happen, and then we can critique that.
Right. Okay. All right, so let me go around, consensus of the commission, such as what Mr. Panico just, discussed before we take, the consensus would be for staff to hear a favorable or unfavorable resolution on this particular project, but before we get to that point, does the commission feel that they would still like some more drawings, to reflect the, reduction in unit size and the overall position of the building on the lot? Go ahead, Commissioner Amato.
As it's explained to me, they're planning to take out a center section, and I think that would improve the overall appearance of the building, but I think we should have something on file to confirm that that's the plan, rather than, say, taking out a gabled end and ending up with a long kind of loaf of bread. I think we should have those drawings. I'm curious about what the discussion was on the reduction of density, but I think it's an improvement overall, and also very much appreciate that this developer is willing to go forward with the affordable units, because everyone else that we've asked, pretty pleased to do that, has said no. So I think that's a plus project, but I think we should know really where it's going to sit on the property, as Mr. Panico is suggesting, that at least half of that reduction up here at the driveway, the entrance side, I think that would be improvement. But I'd like to know also, are we going to, is that space that they're gaining on the property going to be green?
I can't overstress the need to be sure that we are not presenting the commission with applicant information after the close of the public hearing, because that would make their decision vulnerable to being upset. So we need to just be careful how we approach this. I think I understand the concerns of the commission, and we'll try to get the answers in a way that protects the position of the commission in rendering their decision.
So if we were just to...
Commissioner Dickey.
Wait a minute. Chair is taking the floor. So, Mr. Panico, if we were just to request that staff get in touch with the applicant and obtain whatever material that they need to clarify to the commission what the changes would be, would that be appropriate?
As long as whatever information you get from here on out comes through the staff and not directly from the applicant.
Right, okay.
So the staff is going to have to be your channel.
Exactly.
And
Commissioner Kelly?
That's what I was...
Okay.
That's what I was going to say. If staff can work, can't we get a a drawing and have that part of the resolution?
Well, I don't,
As long as,
well, we can certainly make reference to it, Commissioner Kelly. We can
Yeah, I
certainly
mean, and
tuck
then
it in.
everyone can see it, you know?
Yes.
And-
Right.
and therefore,
I think we can do that.
okay, and staff is working with, with the client.
mhm.
Okay.
Okay, so does everybody understand that? We will direct staff to, get in touch with the applicant and get the missing pieces and, whatever information they need to report back to the staff on the changes that the applicant has made to this particular proposal with the reduction in unit count and to confirm where the, building would, be on the property and
Yes,
what the driveway looks like.
I think what the commission wants to see from staff is, A, what would the building look like with 42 units? And B, how would it be located on the site and what the pattern of circulation and parking would be? We can certainly provide that.
Okay. All right, very good. Does everybody understand that?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Do you guys want to have a discussion about units or anything else at this time, if we're gonna?
Yes.
Go ahead, Commissioner Parkins. Mr. Rossetti was just asking if you want to have a discussion, so you seem to, want to share some thoughts about that?
Yeah, so what are we reducing this, they were at 56 units, the original proposal, what is it down to now?
Coming down 14?
48, right?
42.
42.
Yeah, they're going from 56, 42, 5 of which would be, considered affordable housing units.
So but I'm concerned about the mixture of unit sizes. So are we like giving up a studio so they can put in a 2-bedroom? What is going to be the configuration of the amount of bedrooms is something I would be interested in.
All right, so we will ask staff to add.
We will get that information.
Right. Okay, staff will obtain that information from the applicant as to the breakdown of the units. Anybody else?
Can I just ask for clarification, because this seems a little unorthodox of how we've done things, and I know we typically try to be very cautious, and I know that's top front on Mr. Panico's mind, but it seems like what we're asking for is going to be challenged because we're just asking it to be delivered to our staff. So I'm not sure what I'm missing here, but I'm just feeling slightly uncomfortable that it's.
I think what I'm hearing from this discussion is the commission is beginning to look favorably on the project if it was reduced in size and scale, and you would like to see physically what that reduction would result in, including
keeping in mind
a
that
mix
this
of units.
consensus is to approve a PDD and initial development concept plan, correct?
Yes, but I think what I'm hearing, I'm hearing that you're not ready to do that tonight.
That's right.
You're not ready to do that until we provide you with some graphic material as to what a reduced scale project would look like.
Thank you. That was my question. I was hoping you weren't asking for a consensus prior to us getting that.
No,
No.
that's not what I'm hearing.
We have
Thank
4 things that we're going to, staff is going to be requesting from the applicant: the building appearance, the building location, the parking flow, and the breakdown of units. And staff can convey that to us on a future meeting, and then we can
And
have a discussion.
please stop referring to
decide how to
asking the
proceed.
applicant. Madam Chairman, please stop referring to asking the applicant.
I'm sorry.
Just a technicality.
Okay. Right. So anything else before we move on to the next agenda?
Yeah, this is Commissioner Ticky. I understand what Mr. Panico is saying, and maybe a part of this is because when applicants do change or modify even slightly density, I know that there's been situations where they just provide up front some information and some visuals, so we take a look at what's been revised. So I appreciate that we'll be able to take a look at those plans with the measures that the chair has outlined, because we should do that to make an informed decision before we form a consensus on this project.
Okay. All right, last call for any comments.
I'm glad that,
Commissioner Amato, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'm glad the city is taking over the road decision-making and also getting some expert advice on that.
Yeah, they're gonna be definitely working with the applicant, so it's not just on their shoulders.
Some engineering companies.
Understand, this is a public improvement, and I think the commission's concern is that that improvement be made to certain minimum standards. If the applicant can prevail on somebody else to make the improvements for him, so be it. We don't really care. All we know is that before you issue a certificate of occupancy for a unit in that building, those improvements are going to be in place, regardless of who made them.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, I think we know where we're heading, what staff has to do. We have a good understanding of that, so we will have this on an agenda at an upcoming meeting once that material is available to share with the rest of the commission. Okay, moving on to next agenda item is, section is new business. First item is application 2103 PDD number 74, DSA Companies, 811 Old Bridgeport Road for a minor modification of a PDD to include outdoor patio areas at the former Ruby Tuesdays. Is there a motion to accept for review?
Make a motion to accept.
Okay, Commissioner Amato has made a motion to accept for review. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second from Commissioner Kelly. And on a roll call vote, Commissioner Kelly?
Aye.
Commissioner Amato?
Aye.
Commissioner Chickie?
Aye.
Commissioner Wodanski?
Aye.
Commissioner Parkins?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Okay, so, is the applicant present?
Hi, everyone. Eli Hawley from Marketplace Restaurant Group.
Okay, speak up, sir.
Eli Hawley from Marketplace Restaurant Group.
Very good.
Hello.
All the commissioners should have the drawings that were put on the website. So, sir, why don't you go through your proposal?
So this is the old Ruby Tuesdays on 811, Bridgewood Ave.
Mm-hmm.
We are adding a patio, as you can see, adding stone walls, stone fireplace, pergolas, and changing a little bit of how this building looks.
What materials is the pergola on both sides?
It's steel.
Steel,
Post, steel.
upright posts, and then what's the cover?
It's plexiglass.
Oh, okay, so it's a somewhat permanent structure. It's nothing that, like an awning that can be retracted.
No.
Okay. All right. And so you have those two major changes to the exterior. We have a smaller seating area on the parking lot side and one that appears to be a little bit bigger on the Parrot Drive side with the addition of a fireplace. That's an open fireplace?
Yes.
Okay. How about the interior of the building? Are there any major changes to the layout?
The bar is gonna move to the dining room was kitchen stays the same.
All right, so the kitchen stays the same.
Kitchen and bathroom stay the same. It's really swapping the bar with the dining room.
Okay. Just out of curiosity, what's your seating capacity going to be?
It's the same as before.
Okay, so there's no loss or gain in
No.
number of seats, okay? Okay. Okay, the only question that came to my mind was in the design of the patio on the Carrot Drive side as to the chimney of the fireplace extending between the plexiglass sections.
Yep.
So, I don't know how other commissioners feel about that. If that just looks a little awkward to me. That's, okay, if everyone wants, just wait a minute, we're gonna have some visuals put up on the screen.
Yeah,
Okay.
I did. It's an outdoor fireplace, so it has to extend above the roof line.
Okay,
I assume that's why it's done that way.
okay. Sir, while we're waiting, could you do me a favor and spell your first and last name for our secretary?
First name Eli, A-L-I, last name Howie, H-A-W-L-I.
H-A-W-L-I.
L-I. Yes.
Okay. So what's the height of that particular chimney?
I believe it's 40 feet.
40 feet.
No, 20.
20.
20 feet, okay. Commissioner Kelly, is it me or is it's not extending above the center portion?
No, it's not.
So with code would
It
be...
still has to be above the patio area, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would,
Yeah, the draft.
yeah, exactly.
Okay. Mr. Rossetti, do we have anything from the fire marshal, or the city engineer on this particular?
No, it's not necessary.
Not necessary?
The building official would make any changes requested for something like that.
Okay, you want to state that for everyone's eager?
The chairwoman asked if there were any comments from the fire marshal or city engineer. The city engineer does not have any comments, and this is the patio on already impervious coverage. And as to the outdoor fireplace slash chimney, the building official will be the one to definitely have any comments or concerns about the safety of that.
Okay. Oh, coming in, okay. The awning, window treatments, all pretty much the same?
Yeah, except for visualized doors, where the, yeah.
Okay, so the side elevation, facing Carrot Drive?
Yes, I'm sorry, visualized doors.
Oh, okay.
You see 'em?
Yep.
Madam Chairman, could the
Go right ahead,
applicant-
Mr. Panico.
Could the applicant explain briefly the sunshades over the patio area?
Sure, get close to the mic.
I'm sorry, that.
He, just a little explanation about the sun shades over the patio. Those are the ones that I believe you
Yes, that's right.
indicated, those are plexiglass?
Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Panico is, on the phone, so if you could just give him a little bit more detail.
So it's a steel structure, and the cover is gonna be a plastic glass.
Are they colored?
No, just clear plastic
Really?
glass.
Okay.
Are they tinted?
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. They're not tinted?
No.
Is that going to,
So it's really not a sunshade, it's a weather shade? I guess.
Yeah, it's a minor weather shade, I would say.
yeah, I would just be a little
Okay.
concerned about
The upkeep.
upkeep is one thing, but also for patrons sitting underneath, if they're
It
not,
blocks the sun a little bit.
yeah, that's the whole concern, to make sure that it's not something that's going to enhance the sun.
No,
You know,
no,
that
it
kind
will
of
block
thing.
it.
Okay, well, you'll soon find out and
Yes,
make changes if, you should find otherwise, that's for sure, because you'll hear it. For
Well,
sure.
they won't sit out there if it's too hot.
Yeah.
I just have one question.
Okay, Commissioner Kelly, go ahead.
If it's all open, and there's nothing on the sides or in the front, why the fireplace?
Just to create
An atmosphere?
Yes.
And
So
it's
we
a
have-
double face fireplace?
The location we have in Newtown, Connecticut, has the same fireplace.
Uh-huh.
And it's double-sided.
Right.
And the people love it, you can sit on, both sides.
It's open from the center, yeah.
Yeah, I see it, I
And
just,
they fight, believe it or not, they fight for those tables.
okay.
Oh, so you have experience with this already
I
at your
guess
other
so.
locations?
Yeah,
Okay.
similar to Marketplace, the one in
Yeah.
town.
Okay,
Thank you.
very good. Any commissioners have any questions, comments, or concerns about this particular proposal?
For the restaurant,
Go ahead, Commissioner Parkins.
I assume that, this is a restaurant serving alcohol?
You are serving alcohol?
Yes,
Okay. How is that going to be monitored for the outside?
it's all gated,
Alcohol,
and it
yeah,
has, it's all gated and has
alcohol
a gate
is all.
What's the height of the wall?
at 24 inches.
2 feet high?
Yes,
That's, do you consider putting some additional
yes,
wrought
gonna
iron
be
fencing?
yes, it will be, landscape on top of it, plants,
On the wall?
yes.
Yeah, I think you definitely need to go in that direction because
Yeah.
that's easy hop, skip, and a jump
For sure.
for anyone. And I can't see the state liquor board not saying something about that. And as Commissioner Parkins is well aware, we have always looked at what the accessibility is to, an outdoor seating space. And to make sure that on the left side, on the parking lot side, that little brownish gray square that's between the,
Yes, that's the gate.
that's a gate, but it's a
What's
out,
your control of flow?
not a one for in egress.
Correct.
In, it's out only. Okay,
Madam Chairman.
go ahead. Mr. Nappy?
We did discuss with the owner and occupant to also put the fencing on top of that
Yeah.
at their discretion, which would make more sense than some of the planters. So they've agreed to do whatever's needed in order to bring the height up for a safety hazard so no one falls off the wall.
Yeah, I think that wrought iron fencing is definitely the way to go.
Okay.
I'll wait to hear from, what other commissioners say, but if you're looking to replicate the kind of furniture that you show in the drawings, that would seem to be more in line, with that kind of, design and style. So, you know, yeah, let me just finish my thought, that thing about the planters, that could be something that easily could become a catch-all for cigarette butts and garbage. So, okay, Commissioner, Parkins?
Yeah, so the reason I asked how tall the wall was because typically the Liquor Commission, and I'm not sure they've applied to Liquor Commission yet for this outdoor patio, but they require some sort of control measure for people not to just be able to hop over and seat themselves or, you know, especially in the world of COVID, you know, add extra people to a table. But there should also be an emergency exit on the opposite side. So you've got one, looks like an egress, ingress at the parking lot side, but you have nothing on the other side with the fireplace. So, if you do put up some sort of wrought iron fencing or something to inhibit people from crossing over, there should probably be some sort of escape on the other side, no?
Yeah, for sure. You've got that rear wall, what's that, going to be made out of?
That's wood.
It's all wood. So,
It's a high wall.
yeah, then, I mean, that might be, you have your engineer look at it, that might be the appropriate place for that secondary exit, the exit.
There is no,
Emergency exit.
yeah,
The first one is over here on the,
that's the only exit.
yeah, and that's what Commissioner Parkins was saying. Second one needs to look out for a second one. Mr. Knapp, did you have any other comments?
I believe when we checked with the Liquor Commission on previous ones, the second floor had to be 6 feet. If you have a second floor patio or lounge, the fencing, the railing, and
This isn't 2 floors.
I know, I'm just trying to tell you what we found out.
Okay.
And the first one had to be between 4 and 5 of the height. The requirement, was the fire marshal at the time that we put others in town, was that they had to have one central exit also from the area.
I'd like to ask one more question.
Go ahead, Commissioner Kelly.
For the main building, how do you get into the main building? There doesn't seem to be an entrance or exit in the front.
Same entrance as before.
So you have to go through the patio on that side?
No,
So,
here,
if you want to sit,
there's a bit of,
Oh, okay, all right.
there's usually a lot.
It's the existing one that's there today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just, if you look at one of the diagrams, one of the pictures.
No, I'm looking at
Yeah.
I'm looking at the rendering on
Oh, it's
my
a rendering.
iPad, but I see the wall in the front.
Yeah, but it stops short of the entrance.
Here it is.
All right, well, see,
And
that
then
don't
there's
show
this
here.
one, yeah.
It just shows the wall right across. And it shows the exit, shows an opening here. So the whole
And
thing
one-
is a wall.
No, the wall goes here, and here's the
Well,
restaurant.
not on this one.
Which, number is that? The only one I have is our.
SD1.
SD1, yeah. Here you go. Here's the wall. And here's the existing door.
Okay,
There it
all right,
is.
it's
You
a
got
side
it.
door, it's a side, oh,
Yeah, it's on-
okay,
yeah.
all right, okay,
Okay.
understood now.
Okay, any other commissioner have any comments, questions, or concerns?
This is Commissioner Ticky. I just want to make sure I heard the applicant right. So this is the marketplace that is in Newtown and Woodbury and so forth?
yes, we have eight in the state from Avon all the way down to Danbury.
Oh, mm-hmm.
Oh, excellent to hear that. Well, I will just let the commission know this restaurant is delicious. I often go to the one in Woodbury, so I'm so grateful. They are coming to Shelton. It's really a great place.
So that's an endorsement by Commissioner Ticky.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, any other comments, questions, or concerns for the commission?
Yeah, what's the timing of your opening?
As soon as possible,
Yeah.
hopefully by August.
How about your hours of operation? What are they, based on
Noon-
everything going on?
Noon, and depends what, how the state,
Right.
right now it's 11, so, most likely, kitchen will close around 10:30, on a weekdays and 11 on a weekend.
But you're doing a lunch?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're open all day.
All right. All right, okay. Okay, anybody else have any comments, questions, or concerns?
No,
Okay, is there any commissioner that would like to take an action on this particular application?
yeah. Commissioner?
Commissioner Kelly?
Yeah, can we just approve it and give it to staff
Put
for
your
its
mic-
final? I think so.
No,
You can make a
the button up.
motion.
Yeah, make a motion to approve it and then, give it to staff to make the final
Tweak.
tweaks, yeah.
Okay. There's a motion to approve from Commissioner Kelly for application 2103, reserving the ability for staff to work with the applicant for any tweaks that need to be made regarding the fencing. Anything else that comes to mind, Mr. Rossetti? No? Okay. So there's a motion from Commissioner Kelly. Is there a second on this motion?
Commissioner Ticky, I'll second.
Okay. So, on that motion made to approve from Commissioner Kelly, seconded by Commissioner Ticky, I'll do a roll call. Commissioner Kelly?
Aye.
Commissioner Ticky?
Aye.
Commissioner Motto?
Aye.
Commissioner Parkins?
Aye.
Commissioner Wodanski?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Motion is passed 6-0. Good luck.
Thank you.
Welcome to
Thank you.
Shelton.
Thank you.
And we look forward to I can't think of the word. Dining at your establishment. Okay. Thank you. Bridgeport Avenue is going to be very busy in the coming months.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too now.
Okay, next is application 2102, PDD number 73, Dominic Thomas for Bishop Development, LLC at 762 River Road for subdivision of PDD number 72 from 1 to 2 lots. Motion to accept, please, from someone?
I'll make a motion to accept.
There's a motion to accept application 2102 from Commissioner Kelly. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second from Commissioner Motto. On a roll call, Commissioner Kelly?
Aye.
Commissioner Motto?
Aye.
Commissioner Ticky?
Aye.
Commissioner Radowski,
Aye.
Commissioner Parkins,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. And applicant representative?
Just accepting.
Just set a public hearing, David.
Okay. So what date do you have in mind? Anything in particular, Mr. Rossetti?
Yes, February 17th.
Okay. So public hearing will be had on February 17th. Very good. All right, next on the agenda is a section of other business, and we have informal consideration for 2 items. I just want to point out to the commission that Mr. Rossetti, our administrator, and Mr. Attorney Teodoso, our corporation counsel, issued a memo on February 5th to confirm that our zoning regulations validate informal considerations for a PDD. It's important to note that a statement in the memo, any comments from the commission are not binding or official, and no action will be taken on these items. So today, the commission is here solely to listen to each informal consideration and to take notes. The first is number 7, Ivy Brook, PDD for a town development in the LIP zone on a 3.07 acre parcel. Attorney Thomas, I think the commission is looking for what the concept is for this particular piece of property.
Well, I can address everything. I understand that, and I understand at the beginning of the meeting that Commissioner Wodomski addressed the issue that what I did is, this is not an actionable item. And I know that the current staff, when I raised the issue of informal presentation, the current staff wasn't even aware of it, that it existed in your regulations. Much earlier on, since I've been doing this for a long time, this used to be, I won't say a common approval, but it was a thing that we would do to get some input from the commission. You are not the only ones who do this. There's a lot of other commissions that do it. Some do, some don't. It is a more expanded version of your staff sessions. And the reason these were requested is because when we met in a staff session, there was opposition and expressed by those in attendance, and the understanding that it would probably be a situation that could be best presented this way. I did submit just a very concept plan that we had brought to the staff session, and on over the weekend I submitted informative documents simply so that you can see the site. So I do have, they were submitted, I don't know if they were sent out to the commission by PDF, that was the whole purpose. I can put them up on the screen, and I have paper copies of it. And I don't, since it's not actionable, I don't think it in any way violates Executive Order 7B, which dealt with the open meeting law, because you are not taking any action. You couldn't take any action, there's no application before you. But certainly, I can do it without having things before you. I think it's more informative for the commission to have simply a picture of what I'm talking about. I do have them here, and I don't know if the commissioners were sent the PDFs of them, the other commissioners. They were?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so do you want me to address it that way? And
Yeah.
I also can bring it up on the screen.
No, go ahead, I would put the
Okay?
site plan up, preliminary site plan, and the Google map, and leave it at that.
Huh?
Hey, Ginny, Commissioner Wodomski.
Yes, Commissioner Wodomski?
I heard everything Attorney Thomas said. Yes, I do remember many moons ago the staff meetings and everything else, and I was aware of the opportunity to have the informal meetings. I did mention it a couple of years ago when I first got on. I think they're great. However, at the same token, I do think we need to follow the rules that say that everything has to be posted within no less than 24 hours prior to a meeting, so everybody from the public can see it. I'm not. My only question is, the comment says he submitted it on Sunday. It should have been received. Today is Wednesday. I'm wondering why I didn't receive, and the rest of the commissioners perhaps didn't receive this information until 2 o'clock this afternoon, and why it was not posted yesterday prior to the meeting. And it's not fair to hold up either, but I think we need to answer some questions here, why things are not getting posted and disseminated properly.
On this particular, these two informal considerations, I think we might have a leg to stand on if we had an application in front of us, but we do not. This is just a concept that Attorney Thomas is presenting to us on behalf of his client, and that's all it is. So if the client decides to go ahead with this particular proposal, then they would have to do all the postings and whatever for the public to see.
You still didn't answer my question. Information was provided to the commission prior on Sunday. Today is Wednesday. My question still remains: why was the commission never provided with information until 2 o'clock this afternoon, 2 hours before the meeting? It makes it very difficult for those of us that have to work to be able to jump on the internet in the middle of the day to look and check for updates on this information. And I think it presents an unfair disadvantage to the applicant when we do this. It's not the first time this has happened. This is the second time in the last 2 weeks that this has happened. And I think we need to address this internally as staff needs to get on the ball here and make sure this information is provided to the commissioners in appropriate fashion and appropriate time.
Okay, we will definitely take that up with staff, but I don't feel that needs to hold up the concept being presented by Attorney Thomas. So Attorney Thomas, you have the floor?
Yes, thank you. So 7 Ivy Brook is a 3.07 parcel, piece of land that this commission, not meaning you individually, because I don't think any of you were on it in 1999, although I think Mr. Panico would recall it. An application came before this commission to do a substantial lot line revision, okay? And that lot line revision has a lot to do with why Ivy Brook, I believe, should be developed as residential and rather than left, because it's never going to be developed as LIP. And the next page, the first page is a summary of a compilation of two GIS, in the Google aerial.
Attorney Thomas, I hate to stop you at this point, but I think you're going to start presenting material that would be more appropriate if this was an active application. What we're looking for is just a concept. We have a 3.07 piece of property, and we have a preliminary site plan that states it's for proposed condominium development. And I think that's where we should leave it, that this is, and we all know the location of this. This is what we are thinking of doing.
Well, I do think it's very important for the commission to know how it evolved into this site and why it can't be developed as LIP, and that's informal. And if you look at what I presented to you in 2006, is when the property next door, after this commission had subdivided it and shrunk the size of what was then known as Lot 24, now known as 7 Ivy Brook, down to 3.0 acres, added the property to the adjacent piece, which developed a building in which is located at the Griffin Open MRI and other things, and then they developed a pad in the back for development. That pad in the back has remained unused since 2006. They have never been able to get a tenant. So now you have a 3.0 acre piece. And to give you an example as to, first of all, there is simply no market for building new buildings in this area. And I presented in the next sheet all that's available to you. And to give you an example, I can use something you had before you recently. When Gary Plastics came in from Brooklyn, they went into an existing building in 207,000 square feet. That building, that 207,000 square feet, if it were a separate building, would not fit on 7 Ivy Brook.
I just would like to argue the point that that particular building was probably very attractive to that particular tenant because it was expedient for him. He is under time constraints to move. He does not have the time to build a building.
Well, unless you're a Mexican drug lord with the amount of property that is already in existing buildings, as you can see from the subsequent pages, there would be no reason to spend the amount per square foot to build, then you can go into an existing building. But the other problem with this site, if you look at what I presented to you, is that this site, at only 3.7 acres, with its topographically challenged, if you put a 100,000 square foot building on it, you would not be able to fit it. But because you would not be able to level the site and have the 100,000 square foot building, because there is only 130,000 square foot of size in the site, and it is subject to easements to lot 24. Not something the owner did. It has been on the market for 20 some odd years. It has had no takers. It's a combination of reasons, one because of the site, two because of the topography.
Okay, why don't you spend some time on explaining this particular layout?
Okay, so what my client believes is appropriate, given the fact that in this area, in the South Constitution Boulevard area, you already have introduced residential into the area. You have Four Winds right up the end of Mountain View Road, and you have Rivendell condominiums. So with respect to those two, you've introduced residential, rather than have this piece of property lay fallow like it is, because it's not going to end off at anything else. And this is the developer is willing to come in and do it, has had a preliminary design done by Mr. Swift, who materialized from Florida and is behind me, but he did a preliminary design that you could fit 58, I believe it is, condominium units, which is a mixture of the types of units, and, you know, anything that would be done, but it would be a residential approach. And the client has sat through and understands the requirement, and a lot of these residentials would be 10% affordable. Now, these would be ownership, these would be condominiums, but they can still be 10% affordable. And they fit in with what is up there, because you have Rivendell, you would have this, and you have Four Winds. So you've introduced residential amongst the area, and there's really no, again, you can look at the subsequent pages, and I can go over them with you, and that is just a sampling. That's not all. That's a sampling of what is available in the light industrial or small office market throughout the city of Shelton that is available, most of which, as you can see, is available under the guise of Robert Sintos.
Okay, can I just ask, so that building on the preliminary site plan that's in the middle is identified as a low-rise, multiple-family building, 42 units, 3 stories, 14 dwellings per floor. Is that the building that where affordable housing would be proposed?
No, you cannot designate affordable housing. When you have affordable housing units, you do not designate units for that.
So it's somewhere on this.
If you have 10%, they have to be mixed, they can't be designated, they can't be done.
All right,
however,
so that means
is a concept plan that the developer will go to the next step, whether it comes out with that similar plan, once he realizes that there is at least some ability to consider residential on this site, which is, again, it's been for sale for 20 years, and it's not sold.
Okay, but, so you're saying that we have to include in that the townhouse dwelling. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 16 of them?
I believe there is in the
That's on
concept,
this.
yes, there's a number written on there, I can pull it out, I think there's a number in the bottom right with a.
Yeah, there's 58 total, there's
Yeah.
3, 1, and 2. Commissioner Kelly, did you have a comment?
Yeah, well, I think it's on.
Button up.
Okay.
Yeah.
A little confused. The perimeter are the townhouses.
Mm-hmm.
What is the middle?
It's a,
Are they townhouses also?
Flats, what are called flats, condominiums,
Okay, but they're gonna be privately owned.
privately owned.
Okay.
This is a proposal, not, again, at this point,
So
with the
how would
developer,
affordable housing go into this mix?
yeah, it'd be anyway.
affordable housing is not just apartments, you understand? Affordable housing, you can have single-family homes that are affordable housing. All that means is that you now incorporate the formula that they have at the state
Well,
level.
they would be sold at a lower price, is that what you're saying?
They have to be valued at a lower price, and then they're deed at a price that is established by the formula,
Correct.
and then they're deed restricted.
For the 40 years?
Increase over the period of time.
Okay, thank you.
But you cannot, okay,
You can't just,
as opposed to apartments, which turn over a lot more often.
Right, you can't say the middle ones are the end.
Right, you can't say that, but once ones are made affordable, okay, the only way they can change is if a unit was sold, okay, and another unit came out as affordable, you know what I mean, to replace it. If not, that's a deed restricted unit, and it stays that way. So when there's condominiums, when there's single-family developments, there's one in Wallingford, I think, that is single-family, that is affordable, those are encumbered by deed restrictions.
Okay, thank you.
so there's a potential of 6, well, affordable, we have 58 dwelling units.
Yeah.
So that's 10%. All right, Mr. Rossetti, did you have any comments? Nope. Okay. All right, so I think we understand the concept. Any commissioners not understand the concept that's been presented to us? 7 Ivy Brook? Okay, thank you for that. So let's move on to our next informal consideration, which is 967 Howe Avenue. What would you like to tell us about that, Attorney Thomas?
Well, and this is a similar.
We don't have anything on that.
This is the same developer. And this is a different suggestion because it would involve certainly potentially some sort of adjustment to zoning regulations. This developer was not the only person, I'll be honest with you, that approached me concerning this piece of land, which is a large piece of land that's in a stretch of R1 that is between R4 and CA3, as you can see on the map that I showed you. It's between where you just approved the Vista Apartments, and it's between the R4, and for those of you, I'm sure you're all familiar, after you pass Riverview, there are some very low, small, I don't know how to describe them, they're like apartments. They're basically attached units.
You mean Riverview Park, you're talking about? Riverview Park?
Right after you pass Riverview Park.
Okay.
I've been in, years and years ago, one of the attorneys who worked for
Yeah,
us.
they're like duplexes.
Lived there, yes, and down there. So it's between that. So when the client approached me, I took a look, did a little study, and what you have before you is simply an aerial that shows you all of, that when it was made R1, at that point, the vast majority of the lots are all pre-existing legal non-conforming lots. So the 967 Howe Avenue is a 1.6-acre parcel of land, and the approach was originally to come in and do 12 townhouses. However, I informed the person that it does not, even though you have a regulation that allows more than 4, greater than 4, but no greater than 12 townhouses, that is in a different zone, and you have a regulation, which I will tell you right now is going to come under attack as it is going to be throughout the state with respect to affordable housing and everything, where you have substantial sizes greater than the lot sizes per house, which then increases the size of the property. These parcels parcels like this throughout they are primary parcels for the type of zoning in which the burden of proof flips. I leave it to your own court to determine that. So the suggestion that I made to the developer very simply was that you have an informal or have a meeting with the commission to discuss whether or not it was interested in such a situation, because this one, especially in this area here, and in other areas where you have R1, where all the lots were then made pre-existing legal non-conforming, for either one of two reasons, either because of their long, thin shape, because they all have big slopes down to the railroad, or because of the lack of size to meet the R1 category. If the commission would be interested in someone come in with a zoning, some sort of a text change or a zone change that would allow the ability along this stretch to develop townhouses in a situation where then the commission would have greater control over the development that takes place. In addition to that, you could potentially incentivize in the R5 zone developers to come in and possibly improve very well, for instance, some of those R5 duplexes, which are very old and somewhat dilapidated down that way, to improve the status of housing. So just for the benefit of having a conversation as to whether or not there's an interest, this is an extremely unique patch of R1. That, like I said, is susceptible to other uses that the commission wouldn't have as great control over.
Okay. All right, I think we understand the concept. We have visuals of where and how Avenue this is located and what the proposal, if it goes formally submitted, what it would be. So thank you for that, Attorney Thomas.
Can I ask a
None of you up
question?
here.
Can we discuss,
We're not going to have a discussion, no, we're here to take notes, but we can ask questions.
No, this informal is allowed discussion of commission, that's the whole point of it.
Just a question, this 967 Howe Avenue is an acre, a little bigger than some of the adjacent
1.67
parcels.
acres.
1.67. What's the topography like? Is that just flat on the top and then
Similar
drops
to
off?
all the other topography, it goes flat on the top, and then
drops
shoots back down to the railroad track.
So,
That's what almost all these are along.
yeah, so the buildable space would be pretty small.
Buildable space is up the top, you know what I mean? I mean, depending on what you're doing on the site, you know, it would affect the density. Obviously, if you were doing it in something like this, it would have relatively decent views.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Attorney Thomas.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. Other business, B, comments from the chair and the subcommittee. I have no comments at this time. Commissioner Kelly?
I have no comments at this time.
Nothing for downtown subcommittee. Commissioner Amato for zoning subcommittee?
No comments.
No comments at this time. Next is staff comments. Mr. Rossetti? No comments. Mr. O'Neill? How are those, okay, we're going to go back to Mr. Rossetti.
We are pleased to announce that we have a new administrative clerk for our department. Her name is Alexandria Castro. As you may have recognized her name, she's been part-time for a while. But if you call our office and hear another prettier voice, going by the name of Alex, it's not me, Alexandria, and we're more than happy to have her on board.
Okay. Very good. Please convey our congratulations to her. Okay, so Mr. O'Neill, back to you. Anything going on in the zoning enforcement corner of P and Z?
Not a lot of updates. Not a lot of updates in terms of enforcement in the past week or two because of all the snow. It's kind of hard to get out there and look around on people's properties. And it's been a little bit slower the past couple of weeks as well in terms of complaints coming in. So it's pretty much status quo in terms of enforcement.
Okay. Mr. Panico, do you have any comments?
No, not at this
Go
time,
ahead.
Madam Chairman.
You're good? Mr. Panico, you have nothing? Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't have any. I'm sorry, I guess I wasn't speaking into my phone. No, I have
Okay.
nothing else to say tonight.
Okay. Okay, and Mr. Nappy?
Just some of the developers are working on a private, parking plan, with service to the downtown area. Also, working on some, pole lighting on Center Street, to finish that around the brickwork. And they've had several meetings with the Shelton Police Department on, having a greater presence downtown, and it's, really working. And it's hats off to the police department's doing a good job.
Very good. Thank you for that update. Next on the agenda is the notation that minutes are available for review on the website for our 3 January meetings. Seeing that there's no other items on the agenda, is there a motion to adjourn?
So be.
Motion to adjourn from Commissioner Kelly, second?
Second.
Second from Commissioner Amato. A roll call, Commissioner Parkins?
Aye.
Commissioner Kelly?
Aye.
Commissioner Wadowski?
Aye.
Commissioner Tiki?
Aye.
Commissioner Amato?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye, motion is passed 6-0, and the meeting is adjourned as of 6:40 p.m. Thank you, everyone.
So long.